The Day of the Jackal tells a story that has been told before, only better. It presents a narrative that is both enduring in its appeal and strikingly reimagined. At its core lies the tale of a methodical assassin undertaking an audacious mission, a storyline steeped in intrigue and familiar to the genre's traditions. Yet, this adaptation distinguished itself through a modern reinterpretation of a historical event, the 1962 assassination attempt of French President Charles de Gaulle. By transporting this pivotal moment into a contemporary context, the series imbues its subject with a renewed sense of urgency and relevance, forging a compelling fusion of historical gravity and modern suspense. However, what truly sets The Day of the Jackal apart is how it elevates the Hitman genre. This is not a show that relies on tired cliches or flashy distractions. It's a meticulously crafted narrative that respects its audience's intelligence and rewards their patience. Every scene, every moment, every glance is deliberate, pulling you deeper into the Jackal's world. And this stands out because in an entertainment landscape oversaturated with reboots and action-driven blockbusters, The Day of the Jackal dares to be different. It does not bombard you with noise and chaos, it draws you in with precision and subtlety. At its core are four elements that make it exceptional: the layered, deeply human portrayal of its anti-hero, the stunning cinematic craftsmanship that defines its aesthetic, the strategic and impactful use of action, and its exploration of isolating toll of perfection. Let's dissect each element to understand why The Day of the Jackal is in fact a masterpiece of modern storytelling. Part 1. The Anti-Hero Archetype. At the heart of the show is Eddie Redmayne's Jackal, a character who takes the anti-hero archetype to new heights. Anti-heroes have long fascinated audiences because of how they challenge our expectations of morality. They force us to confront uncomfortable truths, blurring the lines between right and wrong, and the Jackal embodies this complexity, pulling us into his world and making us root for him, even as we're repelled by his actions. Now, what makes this character so captivating is his unwavering focus and quiet confidence. He's not a bombastic villain or a tragic anti-hero weighed down by regret. He is a professional, driven by a singular purpose, to execute his mission flawlessly. Yet, as the series progresses, we see glimpses of the man beneath the mask. These moments of vulnerability, a hesitation, a fleeting glance, or a rare emotional reaction, humanize him in ways that are both subtle and profound. A key moment that underscores this duality is the Jackal's interaction with a civilian who unwittingly crosses his path. In a rare instance, the Jackal hesitates. It's not out of sentimentality, but a fleeting moment of moral calculation. A reminder that beneath his cold exterior is a man capable of doubt. This tension between his humanity and his profession makes him endlessly fascinating. And it is moments like this that make Eddie Redmayne's performance a revelation. He brings a depth to the role that elevates the Jackal beyond a mere archetype. His movements are deliberate, his expressions are understated, but his presence is magnetic. He doesn't demand your sympathy, he earns it. Even in moments of cold calculation, there is an undercurrent of humanity that makes him impossible to dismiss. The brilliance of the anti-hero archetype lies in its ability to make us question our own morality. Why do we root for someone like the Jackal? Is it his charisma, his skill, or is it that deep down we recognise pieces of ourselves in him? By challenging us to empathise with a character we might otherwise condemn, the series creates a complex emotional landscape that lingers long after the credits roll. And it is this that is just one of the many reasons that makes this show so great. Part 2. Cinematic Craftsmanship. The opening scene in The Day of the Jackal is a masterclass in cinematic storytelling. From the moment that the camera begins to roll, it's clear this isn't just another action series. The scene unfolds with a quiet confidence, drawing you in not with noise or spectacle, but with precision and restraint. Every detail in this scene feels deliberate. The sound design is exquisite, which amplifies the smallest of noises, from the soft rustle of paper, the sharp metallic click of a tool, and the almost imperceptible creak of a floorboard. These sounds, isolated in the silence, create a sense of intimacy and unease. You're not just watching the Jackal prepare, you are there with him, feeling every movement and every decision. Visually, the opening is stark and minimalist. Shadows dominate the frame, creating an atmosphere that's both foreboding and beautiful. The use of light and negative space isn't aesthetically pleasing. It serves a narrative purpose, reflecting the duality of the Jackal's character: controlled yet dangerous, meticulous yet unpredictable. And what's remarkable about this scene is how much it conveys without a single word. The Jackal's movements, the precision within which he handles his tools, the way he scans his surroundings, the way he plans his escape, it all tells us who he is. It's not just an assassin, it's an artist, a craftsman whose medium is control. And an additional layer of brilliance in this opening scene is how it introduces the audience to the stakes without relying on exposition. The tension in the room isn't explained, it's felt. The meticulous craftsmanship of the scene mirrors the precision of the Jackal himself, drawing us into a world where every detail matters. In contrast to the bombastic openings of films like John Wick or the Bourne Identity, this scene doesn't shout for your attention. It whispers, pulling you in with its quiet intensity. It sets the tone for a series that thrives on detail, patience, and the art of anticipation. Part 3. Action as a tool for suspense. In The Day of the Jackal, action isn't the star of the show. Instead, it's a carefully chosen punctuation mark. This is not a series that bombards you with relentless violence or flashy combat sequences. Instead, it uses action sparingly and strategically, making every moment of violence feel meaningful and impactful. And what makes the action in The Jackal so effective is its unpredictability. Violence doesn't build to a crescendo, it erupts suddenly, almost out of nowhere. One moment everything is calm, the next the Jackal has struck, leaving chaos in his wake. These moments are quick, efficient, and shockingly brutal, reflecting the Jackal's professional precision. The build-up to these moments is where the series truly shines. Consider a scene where the Jackal waits in the shadows, his target in sight. The tension is unbearable, every second stretching longer than the last. The camera lingers on his face, his hand, the weapon, and by the time he pulls the trigger, the violence feels inevitable and devastating. But what adds another layer to this action in the series is the way it's framed. The camera doesn't glorify the violence, it observes it. There is no celebratory slow motion, no dramatic score to heighten the moment. Instead, the focus is just on the consequences. Each act ripples outward, affecting not just the character, but the tone of the series itself. This restraint stands in stark contrast to the relentless action of films like John Wick, where violence is constant and choreographed to perfection. But while there's an undeniable appeal in that kind of spectacle, The Jackal offers something different, something more subtle. It makes you feel the weight of every decision, every kill. The action is not just physical, it is psychological, leaving a lasting impact beyond the final scene. Part 4. The personal cost of perfection. For all his skill and precision, the Jackal is a man defined by isolation. His pursuit of perfection has consumed him, leaving little room for anything else. Joy and basic human connection, they've all been sacrificed in the name of his craft. And while his mastery is undeniable, it comes at a steep cost. The relationship with his wife and son becomes fractured in part and strained at the very least. Trying to live a double life where your occupation lies in the realm of dispatching people for money creates as severe of a divide as is possible. And this shows when the Jackal is with his child. In these scenes, his warmth radiates, and from a distance, the Jackal seems like a wonderful father. But it is here that only we, the audience, know the truth. Attaining the reputation that the Jackal has accrued is no mean feat. To be in a position where people will offer you $100 million for you to fire a single fatal round is testimony to his perfected skill. But, as has just been highlighted, the acquisition of this skill set has taken a heavy toll. From family photos creating unease within the Jackal, insisting that these photos cannot be posted on social media, or even taking the decision to detonate an IED that wiped out his whole team purely to create an alibi for him to become a hitman, it only seems that every decision he has made has been the hardest one, and it has all been for the pursuit of getting paid more than he was in the British Army. Now, the show does not present the Jackal as a hero or a victim. Instead, it portrays him as a man who has made his choices and is now living with the consequences. It is a sobering reminder that perfection, whilst admirable, often comes at a cost, and for the Jackal, that cost is his humanity. The Day of the Jackal is more than just another entry into the Hitman genre. It is a meditation of control, precision, and the sacrifices that come with striving for greatness. It is a series that dares to slow down, to focus on the details, the quiet moments, and the things left unsaid. At its centre is Eddie Redmayne's Jackal, a man who is as brilliant as he is broken, as captivating as he is flawed. He's not just an assassin, he's a reflection of what it means to dedicate yourself so completely to your craft that you almost lose everything else. In a genre dominated by spectacle and relentless action, the Jackal offers something entirely different. It's a story that rewards patience, immersing you in a world of tension, restraint, and emotional complexity. This isn't just a retelling of a familiar story. It is a masterclass in storytelling, one that lingers with you long after the credits roll, and that is what makes the Jackal truly unforgettable. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like them, then please do consider subscribing. And if you have any thoughts of your own about the Day of the Jackal, then please leave them in the comments below. And thank you for watching.